But when I started Nowheristan, I could have taken the title of Secretary General, President of the party, I mean, Chancellor. It could have been anything. So I said, I'm going to take the highest title ever. It was just because they are all at the same price. So why not taking the best? So I said the Emperor. It fits the ideology because it's, I do not recognize a frontier to my project. It's an expansionist project. The goal is going from Nowheristan to everywhereistan. It's ruling the entire planet. It's making the now 6.5 billion, 7 billion, maybe by the time Nowheristan will be everywhereistan, there'll be 7 or 8 billions. So taking all the entire population of planet Earth into this ideology. So that's why the title of Emperor is the best title that I could have chosen, and I like it. I mean, it has funny, especially that I consider that my enemies are the existing empires. So only an empire can cause the fall of another empire. Historically, that's why how it was. So that's how I chose it. If there's other people who can make it or anything, it's not a monopoly. Like, it's not like I registered the name Emperor and I'm forbidding anyone else to do it. Tomorrow, if you want, you can auto-proclaim yourself Emperor. But the thing is how many persons would recognize that, because there's a big risk. When I started that, I was already famous, I was already rich, I had already a family, and there was a risk of me being taken not very seriously, being, I mean, people looking at this as a very ridicule, stupid thing. Some people said he lost his mind. So I took some risks in that. I was well established. I could have entered normal politics. I was proposed to become deputy, to enter politics, to be minister, but my choice is toward this project. If there's something on the way that is not against the principles of this project, okay, I would do it. But if there's anything that is, even for my business, is great, but that could jeopardize Nowheristan, I would never do it. The empires through history were all coming out of one culture, or of one nation, or of one color, so there's always an hegemony of a certain, even Marxism, who was not supposed to be made in Russia, became at the end a Russian project. I mean, okay, they got some Georgians as Secretary General, they got some, but at the end of the day, it was the center of power was Moscow. The decisions were taken there. People had to study Russian in the Soviet Empire. Russian culture was dominating all the other, and it became a Russian project, and that's what killed it also. One of the reasons that killed it, it was centralism. So through history, all the others who were not part of the empire or of the creators of the empire were taking it as an humiliation. In this part of the world, they felt humiliated when, to be a decider in the Roman Empire, you had to be in Rome, or at the Ottoman Empire, you had to be in Istanbul. So this is what kills also the empires. But in the empire of Nowheristan, no one will feel offended, because Nowheristanis are not born Nowheristanis, they became Nowheristanis. Nowheristan is not related to any culture, any race, any religion. Anyone can become a Nowheristani. So there's no insult for anyone in becoming a Nowheristani, but there's a big insult if you now want to enter the American project. You will always be treated like someone who is working for the Americans if you're not American. My enemies are all the existing empires. I mean, there's a big empire now that has his soldiers all around the planet, that is taking decisions on who should be elected in this country and who should not, who's a terrorist and who's not a terrorist. I mean, for me, this is the biggest enemy now. In a few years, it's going to be China probably, because China is growing, and like any country that gets excess of power, they start having dreams, and they start destabilizing some countries, sending their people to try to buy proxies everywhere. They start putting their nose in things that do not concern them at all. So these are the enemies.